Courageous leadership. What is it? We're going to talk a little bit about it. Are you being a courageous leader where you're currently at? That's a good question, right? So I'm going to read you this real quick. Courageous leadership is not about absence of fear, but in the willingness to act despite of it. With be courage, right? You just can't be a leader and not have some sort of a courage. Well, welcome, Dr. Horacio Maldonado here with All Things Leadership. I'm going to talk about the 10 characteristics of a courageous leader. This can go for any position that you have of authority, direct reports, or just any leader that we have. So we're going to go with the 10 characteristics of a courageous leader today. We're super excited about it. And let's just jump into it, okay? If you have a chance, make sure you like, subscribe our channel. We're super excited. And let's jump into it, okay? The first one I'm going to talk about is face reality within the organizations. Don't hide from the problems. If the organization needs something and you're in that leadership position, let's get to it. Engage with everybody that needs to happen. The saying, for us to fix something, we need to identify that there is a problem. Same thing with that. Okay, so don't shy away from finding out what's really truly wrong within the organization, especially if you're a leader within the organization. Okay. The second one is going to be seek after and hear feedback. Feedback is very, very important. As a leader, you need to understand what's working and what's working, what's not working, and how can we fix it. Okay, brainstorm and get with the team together, but you have to take that initial step in order to start getting that feedback and start putting into a productive purpose or a productive use. Okay. We actively seek that feedback from our team because that's the only way that we can move forward. Okay. The third one, we have uncomfortable conversations. We need to be, as leaders, be comfortable talking about uncomfortable situations and issues and concerns that we have within the organizations. Okay, you can apply this to your home, you can apply this to your job, to anything. All right, you have to be able to be comfortable having those uncomfortable situations, conversations, and it's not a method of understanding what the other person doesn't want to talk about. Is if you're a leader and the influence is there, they're going to trust you and they will talk to you. Okay, so make yourself available, make sure they trust you enough to have that uncomfortable conversations. Are you going to have those uncomfortable conversations within the organizations throughout the day? The answer is yes. So just make sure you're prepared for it. If not, seek some assistance. Okay. Number four, encourage pushback. That probably sounds a little bit crazy, right? But not encouraging pushback in a negative way is push back the ideas. Okay, you know what? I have an idea. I don't feel very strongly about it, and my voice is not being heard. And I'm going to read something for you because I don't want for this specific statement to sound kind of, weird. But courageous leaders recognize that great ideas can come from anywhere, and at any time. Courageous leaders encourage their team members to push back an idea if they have a better, more efficient, and more effective way of completing a task. That just means allowing the other people to have that empowering voice, be like, I know you want it this way, but I think that this can work based on data, based on results, based on any kind of analytical research you have done to ensure that you have a better method. It's not a bad thing, but you have to be able to be willing to accept that feedback. Or you might think, well, this person's pushing back. He's actually not. He's just voicing your opinion. Get everybody together to accomplish one common goal. Okay. Number five, address underperformance. We have to be honest in how people perform within the organization. Okay. If you are not addressing people that are not doing their job or their job, you have to be able to be that firm, stern leader to say, hey, what's going on? But let me tell you something. This is where a lot of leaders go bad. You're not meeting your numbers. You're not performing. I don't know if you're going to have a job tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen. And instead, say, hey, I understand that you numbers are not going down. You're going down. Your performance. You're coming in late. Is there something happening at home? Is there something that's going on with you? I'm here to let me know what I can do to help you. That opens up the opportunity for that person to be like, hey, I got a sick parent. I got a sick kid. I got some personal problems. I got some financial problems, but that's where the whole trust and loyalty comes into play. Okay. Maybe that person's just having through a tough time. Be that leader that can be humbled enough to get to their level and be like, hey, how are you doing and how are you feeling? If you ask those two questions, you'd be surprised what comes after it. Okay. Six, communicate often and openly. I talk about communications as a leadership coach and trainer all the time. Okay. If you're not communicating, nothing's going to get done. We have to be very, very, very honest with that. Okay. To understand the team concept that nobody's communicating that what is being done. Just like if I'm going to communicate a tasking to somebody and I don't communicate effectively, that task may or may not be done correctly. So I'm going to read this for you. I'm going to read this specific part of my training that I do. This means that courageous leaders aren't scared of sharing information with their organization and do so often as possible to secure their people as they're informed as they can be. A better informed employee is a better performing employee. Okay. No hitting agendas. This needs to get done. A, B, C, and D. Okay. Number seven, are determined to lead change. In this vast world of change, leadership is just changing just as it is. Okay. So understand that you have to be able to one, accommodate change, two, understand change, three, execute change. I'm going to read this for you. Courageous leaders never settle for good enough in their growth in their organizations. Okay. Courageous leaders constantly look for opportunities to improve and take steps necessary to implement and execute against these improvements. Do not be afraid of change. Change is going to happen. What you can do is understand the change. How is it going to affect your team? Inform your team, ask questions, and see how this change is going to improve what you currently have. Okay. Change is not always bad. Okay. Number eight, stand by the decisions. If your team tells something, hey, this was going to happen, we're going to make all the following changes. You need to stand by their decisions. But you, as a leader, if you say something, you have to do it. You have to follow through. You cannot say something and then not do it, or request them to do a task that you yourself will not do. Okay. You need to set that example as a leader, as a superintendent, as a manager, as a senior executive. You have to be able to stand by your decisions. Okay. That's why if something does not go wrong, if something goes wrong, you're going to be the person that's going to accept the responsibility. I'm going to be accountable for my actions, and then we're going to move forward. No, if it didn't go your way, it's someone else's problem. Okay. We cannot be doing that. Okay. Number nine, give more credit to others. I'm all about two things. You're either going to be tolerated or appreciated. Okay. So give credit to those people that work in your team. Give credit to the people that are making things happen for you in the daily. Okay. Because that is going to empower them to want to do more because, hey, I'm being appreciated from my executives, by my boss, by my supervisor. If I'm doing all these things and I'm receiving credit, now I'm gonna want to do more. So as a leader, you need to be able to understand you have to be able to show that appreciation for your staff, no matter where you're at and in what level you're at, because guess what? They're the ones that are doing all the work. They're the ones that are interacting with people. They're the ones getting the sales. They're the ones getting those consults, every single thing. Okay. So recognizing and giving them credit is critical to the overall performance of that employee. Okay. And the last one is lead by higher standard. There's always a standard, your standard right here. Okay. If you have a standard it's not being met, there's a reason why it's not being met. Okay. That leadership goes up and down. Okay. The failure and successes of leadership is going to be by leadership itself. Okay. So that courageous leader needs to understand that, hey, I'm gonna hold everybody to this standard. If it's not getting done, if I'm not doing it as a leader, then what are we doing? Okay. So those are the 10 characteristics of a courageous leader. Hope you enjoyed them. And I'm looking forward to next week. We have a chance, subscribe button, like it in the bottom of this page. And let me know if you have any questions. And we'll see you next week. Take care.